difference of these trucks is they have a driver in the cab. Those other trucks, the guy up in the little gondola actually drives the truck. You notice when they're moving them around, they actually turn the gondola around so they face backwards whenever they back the truck up, because they always have to check with the truck when they're moving. These are older technology. But at least they have enclosed cabs. I worked at places that literally just had open buckets. And they bought a truck with an enclosed cab like this, and they ripped it off and put an open bucket on it. They were idiots. Fluid is hot. The reason they're just trickling it on the wing like that is they're letting the heat melt the snow, and then you go back over and wash it off with the nozzle. Same thing they did on the cabin roof. Even with the driver in the cab, one place I worked, they still managed to drive right into the trailing edge of a wing a couple times. Have to be careful about not spraying this on windows because the heat can actually shatter them. You can't spray the air data probes. You can mess them up or break them, plug them up. And I'm actually kind of amazed that they don't have the leading edge devices deployed on this aircraft. But I would guess they're probably not going to do Type 4, and this airline's procedure might be a little different from the other company on how to prepare the cabin, prepare the aircraft for de-icing. Every company that's an air carrier has to write their own manual and procedures for how to prepare for this. They also don't spray it inside the engines. It's also a company rule in most places you don't spray the wheels and brakes, but I worked at a place where I had to check the aircraft every morning to make sure the wheels weren't frozen, because if it was a hard-packed snow and ice ramp, they could very easily have a frozen brake, frozen wheel, and drag it and not really even notice it. But just the friction of it sliding over the ice and snow would flat spot, burn through and flat spot the tire. And then as soon as they hit dry pavement out on the taxiway to the runway, the thing would come to a screeching halt. And the fix was, when they did have a frozen wheel, to actually get the de-ice hose, and most of these trucks have a hose that pulls out of the bottom, sort of like a firefighting hose, like you might see, you know, break glass to fight fire type of thing with a folding hose inside, but it's on a reel. And I would literally have to take it because they're like, we're not allowed to spray brakes. And I'm like, well, this is what I have to do, and I would spray it until the brake released. Just hose that thing down full blast. These were lighter aircraft with turboprop, and if they had taxied in the night before with like powdery snow on the runways and taxiways, the brakes heat up from landing, and then the powdery snow blows up on the brakes, melts, gets in between the brakes, discs and wheels and all that, and would freeze. And if you have an aircraft, these are aircraft, they're Beechcraft 99s. They have 4 main wheels, but they're small, like most of the King Airs have. And those wheels, one will freeze and the other 3 will turn. And that was the big problem. got another aircraft that was a little bit heavier, but same idea, Embraer 110 Banderante. And those, if one brake was frozen, it didn't matter if they were sitting on glare ice. The plane could not move with as much throttle as they would put on it if it had a frozen brake. When it was fully loaded. Now empty, oh yeah, it would slide sideways on you if you tried to taxi on glare ice. Happened to me before. You'd actually have to drift it around using differential thrust on the engines. The 99s, that's how you steered when you were in snow anyways. It really freaked the pilots out, but it was the only way to be sure that you could corner and you used reverse for stopping. Oh, they're going with Type 4 as well. That's the greenish. When you're de-icing, if you only have one truck and it's a smaller aircraft, always start with the wing on the pilot side. Finish with the wing on the co-pilot side. That way, that wing that you started with, if it's still coming down and it's getting coated, the pilot can easily look out and see that wing and pretty much assume the rest of the condition of the aircraft's contamination based on the wing they can see. If you start on the side they can't see, they are seeing a wing that is not as contaminated as the other side. And that could be a real problem. And I know they have a time limit, I just forget what it is between when they get this Type 4 and how long they have to take off. And the whole point of Type 4 is it's a thicker, gooier stuff. It's not runny and watery. And when they hit, I don't know, 150, 170, 180 knots, the airspeed will actually blow it off the wing. And any ice or snow that's accumulated on top of it will fly away with it. Just trickle it on because you're trying to get coverage, you're not trying to get thick. All those air data probes on the nose are heated electrically. The windshields are heated electrically. The leading edges and the unpainted lip on the cowling are all heated with bleed air from the engine. And that will take care of almost everything you need. Supervisor about to make the call to the captain and let him know the time it started and the time of completion for de-icing. They usually also will let them know how many gallons. I'm not 100% sure why, except maybe the how many gallons thing lets them know. Hear the numbers really off, like really low, they could assume that maybe they forgot to do one wing or